So, everyone had their cup of tea, chai latte, South Indian filter coffee. Ah, what's called matcha? Matcha tea? Yeah, yeah.
No,
Very Argentinian.
mate.
Mate, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember drinking that in your house, Ned.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only time I have ever had that.
Oh, wow. Back in the day. Other times.
Days when you were making good salads.
Yes.
I remember those days. Oh, dog's ears. We know each other. So, okay, guys. So, I know that you all did your amazing homeworks. Uh, Maybe we give some time in the end for maybe looking at a couple of homeworks. Would that work good? For now, I would love to continue with the playing with phrases because that is very, because we have started that thing already from the first session. It's very inspiring though. I think you should do all the first sessions. That becomes easier for me.
Thanks.
It becomes a good lead for me, like I don't really have to prepare anything. I just okay, out ting 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 ting, all the ideas coming up, so you slog, I enjoy.
Okay. If it works, I'm happy.
Okay, so we were talking about septuplets. Normally, today it happened with one of the students. But actually, it happened with quintuplets. A guy from France. He was taking this lesson, and then he's amazing percussionist, and then he just picks up things like that. So he was talking to me about triplets. He said, like, triplets. Before even it comes, I know that the next step was going to be triplets, so I can already feel the rhythm inside me. Like I can feel it. But when it is quintuplets or septuplets, I don't feel it really that well, like I feel triplets or sixteens. I was thinking like why that is, and then I just asked him, like, if do you feel when it is takat taka takita taka takita taka takita takat, do you feel that well? I said yes, that I can feel it in and out, or takadimi takita takadimi takita takat. So these are the things that's pretty natural, sitting on the beat, so it's very easy to feel it. But when you start doing all these kind of games of shifting over the beat, like doing the trajectory, then it becomes more of a mind game. So again, to get it into your heart, it takes a lot of years of practicing these kind of rhythms, and then w- that's the moment where the phrasing becomes one of the most important feature of this kind of doing the polyrhythmic, like 7 against 3, or like doing a bunch of 21, but you're thinking in different groupings of 21. Like for example, if I want to do takadimbi takita takadimbi takita takadimbi takita ta, takadimbi takita takadimbi takita takadimbi takita ta, tadiginda tatanga tadiginda tatanga tadiginda tata, tadiginda tatanga tadiginda tatanga tadiginda tata, takadimbi takajondo takadimbi takajondo takatakita ta, takadimbi takajondo takadimbi takajondo. These kind of things uh, first has to start with your mind, because there is some kind of music where it just starts with your heart, and then you just kind of keep on doing it. But these kind of rhythms, to get it into your heart, it takes a lot of time, and then for that the phrasing becomes most important. So let's take one small phrase, a very small phrase, nothing complex about it, but what all can we do with it, just by shifting around those things, like small elements from here. So it's very simple, as you see here. It is tadhitomnam takita takita. Okay, so tadhitomnam is 2222, takita takita is 3 and 3, so it is 8 plus 6. So if you have to do it in 2 beats, then it becomes tadhitum nam takita takita tadhitum nam takita takita tadhi. So if you just split it like this, becomes more like this. So ta ti tum nam takita takita ta ti tum nam takita. So I'll do it 4 times. Then why don't you repeat after me? So then we will see what we can do with this. Just a simple phrase. If there is a question about this, then you please shoot right now, or we just go with it. No questions with this? Okay. So 3 and ta thít tùm nắm ta kita ta kita 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 ta thít tùm nắm ta kita ta kita. Okay, so what we will do now is our concentration is this takita. Okay, we'll start shifting this slowly like this. From like the next step would be tadhitom takita nam takita tadhitom takita nam takita. So the takita we will shift it one by one behind each syllable, like tadhitom takita nam takita. So I just keep adding these phrases, and then you just follow me, and then let's see what happens. Yeah, I'll do every step twice. So that means it's 4 times, me twice, you twice, and then just have fun with this. Let's think about what's going on afterwards. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Ta thít tùm ta kita nam ta kita ta thít tùm ta kita nam ta kita ta thít tùm ta kita nam ta kita ta thít tùm ta kita nam ta kita. Ta thít tùm ta kita nam ta kita ta thít tùm ta kita nam ta kita ta thít tùm ta kita nam ta kita ta thít tùm ta kita nam ta kita. Ta thi ta kita tùm nằm ta kita ta thi ta kita tùm nằm ta kita ta thi ta kita tùm nằm ta kita ta thi ta kita tùm nằm ta kita. Ta thi ta kita tùm nằm ta kita ta thi ta kita tùm nằm ta kita ta thi ta kita tùm nằm ta kita ta thi ta kita tùm nằm ta kita. Ta ta kita thi tùm nằm ta kita ta ta kita thi tùm nằm ta kita ta ta kita thi tùm nằm ta kita ta ta kita thi tùm nằm ta kita. Ta ta kita thi tùm nằm ta kita ta ta kita thi tùm nằm ta kita ta ta kita thi tùm nằm ta kita ta ta kita thi tùm nằm ta kita. Ta kita ta thi tùm nằm ta kita ta kita ta thi tùm nằm ta kita ta kita ta thi tùm nằm ta kita ta kita ta thi tùm nằm ta kita. Ta kita ta thi tùm nằm ta kita ta kita ta thi tùm nằm ta kita ta kita ta thi tùm nằm ta kita ta kita ta thi tùm nằm ta kita. Ta kita ta thi tùm ta kita nằm ta kita ta thi tùm ta kita nằm ta kita ta thi tùm ta kita nằm ta kita ta thi tùm ta kita nằm. Ta kita ta thi tùm ta kita nằm ta kita ta thi tùm ta kita nằm ta kita ta thi tùm ta kita nằm ta kita ta thi tùm ta kita nằm. Takitata dhi takita tum nam 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 takitata takita dhi 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 tum nam takita takita ta 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 dhi tum nam takita takita 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 dhi tum nam ta dhi takita tum nam takita ta dhi ta no ta dhi takita takita tum nam 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 ta thi tum takita takita nam 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 thi tum nam takita takita thi tum nam takita takita thi tum nam takita takita thi tum nam takita takita.
Nice.
So just by playing a little bit of shifting these takitas from here to there, like if you can visualize these rhythms inside your head, you already got, just by using these particular syllables, at least I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different kinds of rhythms just by rearranging these syllables. So we don't even have to go looking for phrases. All we have to do, this is called as, in Carnatic music we call this as vinyasa. Vinyasa means to explore one small thing to its maximum extent. So you don't have to really think of a lot of mathematics. You just think of one phrase and then keep squeezing as much juice as possible from one phrase. So the minimum amount of phrase, the maximum amount of squeezing it. If you can do that, then it is called as vinyasa. So if you can develop something like this, let us say, uh, how about I already give you a homework? I give you a phrase and then try and then like with the toothpaste. Yeah. Yes, Adam. So a phrase, okay? So let us say a homework with this phrase, please. Let us see how many things you can take out of this one. Mm, again, septuplets, but spread over 3 beats now. Okay. So we will have this one. And tadhitum nam takita takita tadhim tadhim tadhitum nam takita takita tadhim tadhim tadhitum nam takita takita tadhim tadhim ta. So it's not that every phrase will be interesting that you come out with, but this will give you a lot of opportunities just by shifting around your ideas. Would that be a good homework? Yeah.
What exactly? How should you want to give us a number of how do you want us to do this?
Just do it the way you want to do it, like the you just think of the exercise that we did right now and then go wild with your imagination. To imagine is everything. Tattitum nam takita takita tatim tadim tattitum nam takita takita tatim tadim tattitum nam takita tatim takita tatim tatum nam takita tatim takita tadim tattitum nam takita tatim takita tadim tattitum nam takita tatim takita tadim. I already gave you one. So just look at that and stare at these syllables, and then in your eyes keep shifting those syllables here and there. All of you got that? Okay, move on. Okay, so how was your homework with part B's of Corvey? How many of you found it interesting? Okay, awesome. Shall we explore part A, or you want to do some of the part B's? If you have any doubts about any kind of number, so maybe we can just talk about it for some time and then go to part A.
Maybe there's some questions about it.
Yes.
Can I go first? Yeah.
Yes, please,
So
David.
one problem I came up to, we talked about this on Friday together.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for a part B that made 52,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't work it out under the system that I thought you showed us. So I
Okay.
was wondering if you can
Did you
help me.
start getting towards it? Like, did you have some kind of spark ideas? So we can develop on that. Or else I can give you something very fresh. But if you already have something like going in that direction, then we can work on that.
Okay, so well, with what from what I understood, so when you're making a part B,
Mm-hmm.
you either have so you have these syllables dom, and you
Mm-hmm.
arrange them using the system that you showed us, all that. Um, and you can either have three of those with two identical gaps, or you can have three sets of those, three sets of three of those with identical gaps
Okay.
within them and between them, right?
Hmm.
In that case, I couldn't think of a way of doing 52 because um, it does. I can't get nine Dadiginatoms in there because there isn't a way of doing one set which is 50, which is 16. So I couldn't do 16 and a gap, 16 a gap, 16 a gap.
Okay. 16
Um,
is not there in the list.
yeah.
I know that.
So
It's
how?
good that it's
Yeah.
good that you hit a dead end there. So your idea was to have this one, right?
Well, yeah,
You want,
because if you do 15, if you do 15, it leaves 7 left over, and you can't divide 7 by 2. And if you do 16, well, you can't have 16s, and then 17s, you have too many.
perfect. So the easiest way to get out of this problem is this is how first you do it. So 16 can be 2 eighths, right?
Okay. Oh,
Now,
Oh, that's 2/8, not 88.
oh,
yeah,
okay.
okay. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry about that. Then you shift one fellow to the other place. So 8, 8 plus 8, 8 plus 8 plus 8.
Okay, so is the second thing that you've written 8 plus 8 to 8 plus 8 to 8 plus 8, is that allowed?
It depends on what kind of phrasing that you choose.
Because in all of your examples, you had three numbers, three of the
That's
same
right.
rather than two.
That's right. So we didn't indulge into some kind of another kind of phrasing. We were only thinking of these 5 sets of Tadiginatom, this one, right? So there are also other kinds of like, for example, the one with the phrasing that you already know. It is supposed to be the gi na tom, right? So this is 8, right? So if you have to do this twice, okay, I would I would do, are, okay. Then this somehow makes more sense to me. Tadi gi na to gi na to dim. Tadi gi na to gi na to dim. Tadi gi na to gi na to dim. Split that phrase in a way that so that it sounds like one thing on a whole. If you make tadi ki na to dim tadi, then it sounds like two things. And then now here you may, if you split it like 3 plus 5, and then you make 3 3 5 5 tadi ki na to gi na to dim tadi ki na to gi na to dim tadi ki na to gi na to dim.
So it's making a
Okay,
16 sound like a one,
one
like a
thing, yeah.
one unit.
Or what do you play, David?
I play piano and bass.
Great. So piano you can play 30-second notes uh, without any discomfort. Then the 60 can be, you know, 32 16th notes, right? So whatever you have on the 32 16th notes, you play that as one chunk. Like for example, you have tadigina takita tim tadigina tom takita tim tadigina tom takita tim tadigina to, right? That you play in the 32nd notes. Takita tim tadigina tom takita tim tadigina tom takita tim tadigita tim takita tim tadigina tom takita tim tadigina tom takita tim tadigita tim takita tim tadigina tom takita tim tadigina tom takita tim tadigita tim. Do you get what I'm trying to tell you? So the 60 whatever if you take your sheets out for the 32, you have 10 plus 1 10 plus 1 10, right? So that one if you play in the 30-second notes, so 10 30-second notes, 1 30-second, 10 that becomes 16, right? Takitadim tadigindatom 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 takitadim tadigindatom.
Sorry, I don't understand where the tens are coming from.
Do you have the sheet of part B's? Or should I just share it here?
We can get it out.
1 minute. Ah, yeah, I got it. Okay. So here, you see this one here. If this is played in 30-second notes, like for example, 30 is here, right? Takita dim, this is 10. Takita dim, tatikinato. Takita dim, tatikinato, takita dim, tatikinato. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Takita dim, tatikin. So if you play this phrase in 30-second notes, then it becomes 16. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So probably you cannot play that on an upright bass, but certainly you can play that with your piano or flute or drums, and then some really fast singers who have if they can do a lot of tremolo, they can do that. Yes,
Thank
Fernandez.
you. And
Yeah, I hit the same sort of problem with 45 matras, and I instantly understood that this will be a problem because if I divide 45 by 3, it's 15. So if I would just use the 15 phrase, that would be lots of tatikinatum, 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 which is not a corvée at all. So I actually used the double speed solution that you mentioned now, and thank you for the answer by email that you said that this was okay. But
Well,
any other suggestions on how to go about 45 matras?
45. Okay. Wow, you're making me work hard. Okay. 45. So for you, it was 15, 15, 15, right?
Yeah, at the start. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So your thing was 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, right? So it's too many fives. So what you can, so if you take it as the gi na tom 9 times, right?
Yes.
The easiest way to get out of this problem is this.
Yeah, I actually thought of this just 1 second before you was going to say this. Yeah, interesting.
So if you do that, ta ti gi na tum ta ti gi na tum ta di 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 gi na tum. 45. There are so many combinations for 45. But we'll not get into that right now. So this is the first thing that comes to my mind. Or let us say, if you do this one, right? Okay, so this is 5, right? Because it is 10 and then played in 30-second notes, it is 5, right?
Yeah.
So instead of playing this three times, what we can do is takitadim, 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 tadiginato, 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 takitadim, 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 tadiginato, 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 takitadim, takitadim. Again, this becomes more of a percussion thing. Okay, are you guys with me? So much silence. You can all unmute yourselves. It's okay here.
No, 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 no.
So this is one way of looking at it. Okay, so let us say you went into this. You don't want to play. This is very boring to do the same thing. What I would do next one is I'll just take off one matra from takitadim. And then I extend it here. And then I take off one matra from here. And I extend 2 matras here. So takitadim, 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 tadigindatom, 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 takadim, 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 tadim, gindato, tadim, gindato, tadim, gindato, tadim, 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 gindato, tadim, gindato, tadim, gindato, ta.
Inspiring, really.
So by this kind of the same kind of technique where you take from one side and put it to the other side, that's how you come up with interesting phrases that work.
Yeah.
For this. Yeah.
Yeah. So just always like everything is not mathematics. Once you sort out the mathematics part, after that, just let it go and play with the phrases. Always. The more you play with the phrases, mathematics keeps on diminishing in the background. It hardly matters afterwards. It's only the first step to start. Then only play with the logic of the phrase.
BC,
Yes.
I was thinking about your phrase up, the tadiginatom with the rests. If we cut one rest from the last tadiginatom and we put it on the first, so we do ta and 2 rests, di 2 rests, gi 2 rests, etc. It seems to be, of course, mathematically is the same, and it seems to be also a phrase in 11 beats with ends in with a small t high in tadiginaton, like ta, di,
Yeah.
ta, di, gi, na, ton, tadiginaton, ta, di, gi, na, ton, tadiginaton, tadiginaton, tadiginaton.
Okay. So you went with so there was 15 and tadiginato.
Yeah, I just cut the last rest of the tadiginatom and put it on the first tadiginatom.
Can you do it again, please?
Yeah, ta, di, gi, na, ton, tadiginaton, ta, di, gi, na, ton, tadiginaton, tadiginaton, tadiginaton.
Okay, this is for the 11 you're saying.
Yes.
So normally, I mean, like this is there are two kinds of South Indian music, where one is coming from a tradition called as Nadaswara. Nadaswara is this loud instrument, the horn. How do you call it?
Oboe.
Oboe
Like an
kind of
oboe.
instrument, and they play with a very loud percussion instrument which is called as tawil. They use these tricks of landing on the tom,
Okay.
but in the tradition that I come from, we don't use landing on the tom. Tom
Okay.
is always the last note, and there is something else after that where you like tadi gina tom dim, you know. Because once I was listening to a concert, and in 8/4, the musician played this, the percussion artist played this. So if the 8/4 is Adi Tala or anything, like just 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, he played ta di gi na tom, ta di gi na tom, ta di gi na tom, ta di gi na tom.
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, I just jumped out of my chair, and this is completely right in that. In mridangam phrasing, I would probably do ta ka di mi dim, ta ka di mi dim, ta ka di mi dim, ta ka di mi dim.
Okay.
Same rhythm, but phrased differently on the instrument.
Phrase, yes.
Right. Got it.
I mean, like this, only you can catch these things only if you are used to this kind of music. Otherwise, either that or this, for a fresh ear, it sounds the same. But I understand the fingering technique on the instrument. So when it lands on the tum, it's like, oh, this is like there is something missing here,
Yeah.
So it's also the subtle difference between a gap and the last note of a phrase.
Yeah.
But sorry, can I just interrupt? So, but the principle of what Francesco was saying is correct. It's just a question of starting one matra earlier, isn't it? Like in terms of how
So
it with the beat.
ti ki na tum ta ti ki ta ta ti ki ta tum ta ti ki ta ta ti ki ta ta ti ki ta tum. So
Does it start in the same place, or did it? Is there? Have we lost? Is there one?
for me that is 45. He's projecting that as 44 plus 1. For me it is 45.
Yeah, I was thinking in Chatusragati.
Yeah. Any doubts?
Right. So it's the wrong total number of matras in that case. You're saying.
Yeah, for me it is 44 plus 1, but he's saying it is 45, where the 45th is landing on the
The sound.
12th quarter note. So that tom is actually never part of this whole phrase that came in the beginning. As I have been telling from the first class, for us the most important note is that landing note on the one, but it is never part of the composition.
Never also in the TI, because someone taught me that the TI ends with the last part of the composition. I mean, the last part of the composition is the sum, so the one.
Yeah.
Is
And
it
that was never the part of the actual composition.
You
Well, it
mean
is part of the composition. It's just not part of the math.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
sure, yeah.
that's right. So all the calculations that you do, you haven't actually thought of that note in that composition. Like for example, here tadim 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 ta dim girnato ta dim girnato ta dim girnato dim, right? But you don't have it inside here. But the dim is very important. We don't resolve tadim 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 ta dim girnato ta dim girnato ta dim girnatum. We don't do that. So where is the dim? Where is the one?
Okay, but maybe because this is, I think for me it's important, because someone taught me that I'm talking about the TI, not the Corvai.
Yes.
The TI is a rhythmic pattern or a melodic pattern which repeats 3 times.
That's
and
right.
the last beat of the TI lands on the one, which is the, I mean, yes, the first bit of the cycle, but it's part of the TI. It's like,
Well, if you ask them to break it down, they might say that, let us say there is a composition which is of 32 beats.
uh-huh,
So they will say it is 10 plus 1, 10 plus 1, 10 plus 1. They don't say plus 1 because then it becomes 33.
uh-huh,
So it sounds like that was part of, because it's a takita dim tadiginda to taha takita dim tadiginda to taha takita dim tadiginda to ta. That ta was never part of this.
ah, mhm,
It makes it sound like it was part of it, but in the original calculation, it was never part of that.
mhm. So it's a way, it's a question of way of thinking about the composition, but
That's right.
just okay.
Yeah. Okay. So shall we just shift slowly to part A, compositions? You might be wanting to know things about it, like the rules and regulations of making a part A of a Corvée, because you have all part B section now. So shall we try doing that?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. Let's take the first example of our templates. Even though I say it is a 27 matras, there must be a rest. The rest should always be minimum 3 times in the part A of the composition. You can choose the rest to be from 1 till as long as 100. But here my rest is, the rest is a note with a pause. So for example, this one is a rest. So there are 3 times of this. So basically it is 6 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 6 plus 3. Though you call it as 999, there must be a rest in the part A, which is followed, I mean, like, which is do you say preceded by a phrase and then this rest. So this phrase can be 6 here, 5 here, 4 here. That doesn't matter. But this rest should be minimum 3 times. It can be as much as possible, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, as many times as possible. But there should be a logical progression to it. So if you look into this, then it is, so let us say if I want to do something for 24 matras, taking the same thing, then I can cut short this one by 1 matra. Takadina takadim, takadina takadim, takadina takadim, right? Making it 6 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 6 plus 2. Or I can also make it as 5 plus 3. Tadigina, or takatakita dim, takatakita dim, takatakita dim.
Are you adjusting the gap and the, because you're changing the gap that changes the phrase? That's what you're saying.
So I mean, like, now the study is for 24 matras. Let us say we want to do the same kind of phrasing for 24 matras.
Oh, okay, like that. I
It
understand.
can be 6 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 6 plus 2, or 5 plus 3, 5 plus 3, 5 plus 3. But this rest of the dim or tam or ta, whatever you want to name it as, it should be there at least 3 times minimum, right? So this is the most basic way of thinking a part A, where it can be divided into 3. Okay. So let's not take this one because it's an age-old phrase. It's a questionable phrase. There is only beauty in it, so that's why they are using it. So let's not take this phrase. Now let's go to this phrase, where again you see this din is 2, right? So it's constantly repeating. But here it is 7 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 5 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 3 plus 2, and then 2 plus 2, 1 plus 2, and 2. So our basic rule of having it minimum 3 times, yes, it's already there. It's more than 3 times. And then there is also a logical progression from 7 to 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 to 0, right? So for 44 matras, let us say how many 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, there are 8 groups here, right? 8 groups of 7 plus 2, 6 plus 2, like this. So if you want to increase it by 8 numbers, for example, if you want it for 52, then you can increase the din by 1. Taka dinna takita dim, taka dinna taka dim, taka takita din, taka dinna din, takita din, taka din, ta din, din. Then it becomes 52. If you want to make it 36, taka dinna takita din taka dinna din taka takita din taka dinna din takita din taka din ta din din. Here only you can have a lot of variations for. So these numbers, like for a 44, is not divisible by 3. Still you found a template or a part A of Corvée. Please ask me any doubts you already have until here.
And just quick thing. So a gap is always a din. Is that right?
Dim, you can use tam, you can use jum, something that has this M and N.
Okay. But it's never just a gap.
No, it must have this kind of a note with a pause. And that is completely separate out of the phrase and the gap. So if you think this gap as X, so there is a phrase and the X, phrase and the X, phrase and the X, like that, you know, the X should be there. So let us say if you come up with a combination for, let us say, 1 2 4 3 4 5 6 7, how much is that? 25. Okay, 7 3 4 5 6 7. So normally what you do, you choose the last number, which is 3, and then make it as a pause itself. Then you keep on adding dim tadim takadim takita dim takadina dim tadigina to dim, you know, like that. So the smallest number, that's the easiest way or the common way of choosing the X. The X will become the smallest number.
Why don't you put that on the screen, Manju?
Okay. Okay, I'll go all the way. There are many templates here. So let us say I have a pattern of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, right? And then this 2 becomes my X, which is a dim, right? So now I add 1 here. The dim is 1 plus dim here. So this becomes tadim. Then this becomes this one becomes, what does that become?
Takita din.
Yeah. And hence on, like until like you arrive to 7. So our X, you have to always find the X, which is the gap, the pause with the note. So what? How much is this? 7 6 5 4 3 5 4 3 2. This is 9 plus 18, 27. This is 27. Taka din, takita din, taka taka. No, not 27. Sorry, 6 3 is 18 plus 9. Yeah, it is 27. No. Taka din, takita din, taka din, taka din, taka takita din, taka din, takita din. No, no, no. Taka din, takita. No, no, no. Tadiginda to din, taka din, takita din, taka din, tadin, din. So it is 27.
So actually, the 2 is not part of the sequence. It's just the.
It is. So 7 is 5 plus 2. Tadiginda to dim.
But then you would end with takita din.
Because you are only doing part 1, part A. There
But
is something coming after this also.
But it wouldn't end with takita dim dim dim.
Takita dim, tadim, takadim, tadim, dim.
Oh, I understand. Now I understand.
This
right.
is not the ending of the core way. This is the beginning of the core way.
The 7 is 5 plus 2, 6 is
Yeah.
4 plus 2, 3 plus
Yeah.
2, 2 plus 2, 1 plus 2, and then only the 2, right?
Yeah. So first thing is to figure out the math for the part A that you have, and then choose the phrase with this X.
It's just confusing when you write it like that. Normally, we've been writing it as 5 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 3 plus 2. You understand?
That's why I'm telling you, normally what happens is you have to figure out this math and then choose the dim, the 2, the 1 plus 2, 3, 2 plus 2. So normally the smallest number becomes the X.
May I ask a question?
Yes,
What,
please.
what about the length? I mean, from between part A and part B, they should be the same, almost the same, or whatever.
Who is asking this genius question? Flavio.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Great question. It's very important that we choose not very disproportionate length of A and B. It's very important. Like it need not be really half and half. It neither should not be 10% and 90%.
It is exactly what I did in the homeworks, because as I had to do a part B, I thought,
Yeah.
okay, I make myself trouble, so I do a very long B, so I took the A as short as possible.
Well, it's not wrong. Nothing is wrong. I mean, like it's a little bit strange, like the idea wise, you know. So I'm not saying it is wrong. It's just a choice. Like try to make sure that at least the part A or the part B takes 30 to 40% of the length. You know. Okay. Shall we go on to the next part?
Sorry, I have one short question. When you showed, yes, number 3 there, where you did variations on
Yeah.
it with different matras, one thing was that you took out the dots completely, so you had takatin, takatin, I can't read it that fast, but is only a din for one matra still considered to be a gap?
Again, a very good question. I just did it as an example. I would never do it as one matra gap.
Hmm.
I'm sorry to mislead you guys, but I'm just doing it as an example. So minimum choose it as 2.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks for asking that question. Otherwise, we would have all the homeworks with one din.
You have to do
All
what
of
you
them.
say, not what you do.
I have a question.
Yeah, who is that?
Again.
I can't. Oh yeah, Nai.
And this part has to be repeated 3 times also?
No, not this one.
Just one?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, like part A and part B. Like for example, this is part A. Then you have a part B. This whole thing should be repeated 3 times. A B A B A B.
Okay. Thank
If
you.
you want to, like, let's say, if you have a part A of 44 multiplied by 3, that is 132 matras, then you can choose to do all these 3 times. That's not a problem. Like, let us say you have a 132 as your part A, then you can do all the sequence 3 times. Or you can do every sequence 3 times. Takadina takita dim, takadina takita dim, takadina takita dim, takatakadina dim, takadina takadim, takadina takadim, takatakita dim, takatakita dim, takatakita dim, takadina dim, takadina dim, takadina dim, takita dim, takita dim, takita dim, takadim, 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 tadim, 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 dim, dim, dim. You can do that if you have a very lengthy part A.
Okay, because in the homework I saw the curve you chose us, you taught us, sorry, on summer, and you made it like 3 parts, so I made it the same. I made 7 5 3 3 times, and then I went to B.
It's not wrong. It's a
Okay,
very good choice.
okay, thank you.
Okay. Uh, Anyone has any question? Somebody in the chat is all of AB always repeated 3 times? Yes. If you have to have a core way is always repeated 3 times. And then there are a lot of complex core ways where it feels like it is not in these rules, but if you decipher it, it falls into these rules. But I mean, like those are like super complex core ways, which will be one of the homeworks. I will share few of my videos where I would love you guys decipher that and split it into really parts and then see what is going on in there. And then we will come to that in next class. I don't want to introduce that already now because it's very confusing. Yeah, perfect. Okay, like for example, Nai, you were asking this one. So here you see this one is already 4 plus 3, 4 plus 3, 4 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 6 plus 3. So you have perfectly the same example that you were asking, all three times repeated. So you can use this, like for example, you can recite it in this way, like dim ta dim dim ta dim dim ta 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 ka dim ta dim ta ka dim ta dim ta ka dim ta dim, and then comes part B. You can also use it like this one, dim ta dim ta dim ta dim ta ka dim ta dim dim ta dim ta dim ta dim ta ka, and hence like read it like this. Or you can read dim ta, read it like up to down, down to up, and up to down, just like we did this core way, you're right, in our first course. You can arrange it in any way, but make sure that there is a logical progression to it. So this is another example. Okay, slowly. Again, here you see the din. Now what matters is the total of 5 5 5, but the din, it is repeated 2 and 2, and then it becomes suddenly 1. And then this, normally what they do, why they do this is mostly a melodic composition. So they have 3 notes, and then they choose 3 notes, sequence of three notes here, and then they reduce it so that the 3 notes stays till the end. Like sariga rigama gamapa, sariga rigama gamapa, sariga rigama gamapa, you know. So to have those 3 notes constant, they choose this kind of, so this is a very melodic composition. Normally percussion artists, they only accompany this with the singer or a violinist or flautist, but when you ask them to play this, they don't play this kind of chords.
The question.
Yeah,
So this is an exception to the rule that you just said about not having a din of just one matra.
that's right. You see, so there are few examples like this, like which breaks the rule, and then they only choose it for the aesthetic purpose. And then this is mainly as melodic composition, they want to have 3 notes, right? And then normally they don't sing 30-second notes, so they don't say dridim dridim dridim, they can sariga rigaba gaba, they can't do that. So the riga rigama gamapa.
So you're saying that the din would be one note, ta would be another note, and the third, and the other din would be another note, and it would just
Yes,
be those 3 notes for the whole thing.
yes, yeah. Okay, go on further. Ta-dan, ta-dan. Okay, this is another example, and this is called as a tail. So you have something here. Okay, so tadit takadaradim ta dim, tadit takadaradim ta dim, tadit takadaradim. Okay, I have to put a dot here, sorry. Tadit takadaradim ta dim, tadit takadaradim ta dim, tadit takadaradim ta dim, dim, ta, dim, dim, ta, dim. This is called as a tail of the first part of the curve, where you can extend the x to 2 more times in the end. So how much is this? Let's calculate. So tadit takadina is 4. This is 12. So 4 plus 8, 4 plus 8, 4 plus 8, 8, 8. So 12, 3, 36 plus 16. That is 52. So how are you going to come up with 62, 52? Normally, you choose this kind of tail. And always the tail is never one note. It has this dimta dim. It's a sequence like this. Dimta dim, dimta dim, dimta dim. I'm sure a lot of doubts going in your minds. Shoot, 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 shoot. And the tail should repeat only twice after, not 3 times. So it makes it look like it is 3 times.
I recognize it. I mean, you've done this so many times.
Dhit tam kada jagodari kada takadim ta dim. Dhit tam kada jagodari kada takadim ta dim. Dhit tam kada jagodari kada takadim ta dim. Dim ta dim. Dim ta dim.
Yes. What's
So
the
this
name
is,
of this?
I have no names. So sorry. We can call it as tail, part A with a tail.
So, question: does the takadina underline? Does that mean it's double speed?
That's the 30-second notes.
Okay.
Tatit takadiradim ta dim. Tatit takadiradim ta dim. So now the development of this phrase, right? Normally, here what we do is tadit takadiradim ta dim. Takadit takadinadim ta dim. So you went from 16 to 32nd. What will be the next one? Sixty-fourth. So tadit takadinadim ta dim. Takadit takadinadim ta dim. Takadit takadinadim ta dim. Dim ta dim. Dim ta dim. So the development of the phrase is from 16th to 32nd to 64th.
That sounded more like a sextuplet than 8 notes to me.
Which one?
The 64ths.
Targadi, targadi, targida, 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 targida.
Okay.
But you cannot say the 64th note without the this D, without the landing note of D. It's very difficult to say that there is a 64th note. Targada, you cannot. Targadi, you need to have a landing note. Targadi.
Yeah. That sounds like 3, huh?
Yeah. It's not tagadi. It is not tagadi. It is tarigadi. Tagadi.
And you have a special fingering for that.
No, we play the
like the stroke on the miridangam. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then we will throw in some numbers and then start making part A for that. Okay.
Just
Oh,
can I ask one question? So this tail situation do you sometimes use that if you don't have a solution for the numbers? Then you
my
say,
man,
okay,
my
I can
man.
use this tail to come out properly.
How come this class is full of geniuses? Indeed, this is like the way out of no solution. We will get to that part. How to make this. Any number given, you can make a part A. Any number. So we are only looking at the tip of the iceberg of the possibilities of part A. Okay.
Yes.
Now, this is to demonstrate that there can be as many steps as you want. So here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ta ta kita ta kadina dim. 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 Ta kita ta kadina dim. Ta kita ta kadina dim. Kita ta kadina dim. Ta ta kadina dim. Ta kadina dim. Ta kita dim. Ta kadim. Ta dim. Dim. Like if you have a long part A, you can go to this kind of composition. And then again, choosing the phrase is very important to make it very interesting.
So in this example, you're cutting off 1/16 from the beginning each time. Although it's not like you're cutting off the first note. You're
No.
making the first note shorter, and then when it's 1, then it disappears.
Yes.
So it's a little bit like more like several different processes going on at the same time.
Yes. And this is a very, very popular, age old, maybe 100 years old phrase where one amazing mridangam artist, which is which was difficult to find before him, somebody came like that, or after him somebody came like that. His name is Mani Iyer, Palghat Mani Iyer. He composed this phrase. So there is this, if you want, if you allow me, I can demonstrate a korve that he played with this.
Great.
Okay, so ta ta kita ta kadina dim, 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 ta kita ta kadina dim, ta kita ta kadina dim, kita ta kadina dim, ta ta kadina dim, ta kadina dim, ta kita dim, kita dim, ta dim, dim, ta ti ki na tum, ta diginda tum, ta ti ki na tum, ta diginda tum, ta diginda tum, ta ti ki na tum, ta diginda tum, ta diginda tum, ta diginda tum, ta ta kita ta kadina dim, 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 ta kita ta kadina dim, ta kita ta kadina dim, kita ta kadina dim, ta ta kadina dim, ta kadina dim, ta kita dim, ta kadim, ta dim, dim, ta ti ki na tum, ta diginda ta ti ki na tum, ta diginda ta diginda ta ti ki na tum, ta diginda ta diginda ta diginda ta. He used to play this in also in the sextuplets because it comes up to 6 cycles. So he used to play the sextuplets and it will fit in 4 cycles.
So every time that the section A is coming again, it variation could happen also in the section A. Doesn't have to stay the same like a theme. This is to repeat 3 times.
You mean this one here? This one? You mean?
No, just in general in the part A.
Yeah.
I mean, if the whole thing is repeated 3 times, does the part A has to be repeated as the same all the 3 times, or it could be variated also?
Part A and B together should be repeated 3 times.
Exactly.
Or
so I repeat part A 3 times. I end up to do the part A 3 times when I do the whole thing. And the part A has to be the same all the 3 times, or it could
no,
it could happen
it
variation.
can be different. You
can
can
be-
make variations.
It's not like the theme, like of a song, like that's the theme, and then the variation has to just happen on the B part. It could be variated both parts.
Variation can happen. We will choose from your homeworks somebody's example and then see what variations we can make with that. I'm not going to do anything because it sounds like so we also have to study the examples that comes out of your homework. We will choose that and then see what variations can we make with that. We will do that also in the next class.
Yeah, we should then. I'm posting them as you send them to me. So we've got some from Eduardo and Per Anders on there. Yeah, maybe we should choose some for us to all to practice and learn.
You mean one of these phrases?
Yeah, that people have created.
Yeah. Today?
If possible. Otherwise, we look at it.
We'll do it on the Friday.
Sure. Yeah.
So we just learn material today, and then Friday can be something that we can practice that.
Yeah.
And also maybe the variations can happen on Friday. Yeah. Okay, somebody is asking something. When do you think about Tala? And then after Tala, do you think on the part B? Ah, hmm. No, normally what happens is I think of the Tala and then I think of number of cycles, just like you did your homeworks with the number of cycles and the Tala, and then choose the phrase and then do it. But of course, a lot of Korves come to our mind just by the example of looking at the Tala. So that also like is another study. So if we get through all these things, then Corvée is such an amazing chapter to study. It's not just about endings, it's also about how you can manipulate a lot of phrases and then the mathematics. So uh, as I told you, it's just the tip of the iceberg. So I'm sure your heads are exploding with many ideas, but we'll keep it to what is there today. Then we'll just move on from here. Okay. So
Thank you so
next
much.
one. Sorry.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So this one, as you see that there is this normal X phrase, but there is also something in the blue. You know, this is a phrase from the part B, which you are already introducing in part A. Like, tadit takadinatam, tadiginato dit takadinatam, tadiginato takadinatam, tadiginato ta, takatadiginatota, ta, takadikutadiginatota. Ta. You can already introduce a part of part B inside part A, like this. Like very classic core ways tadhit takadinatam, tadiginato dhit takadinatam, tadiginato takadinatam, tadiginato ta, takatadiginatota, ta, takadiku tadiginato ta. Again, like maybe more than 100, 200 years old. So if I show you what that is, it's here. So it is, uh, so it's hard to differentiate what's part A and what's part B in this. Okay? So this is an age-old muktaya. So you have, so the part B is actually starting from here, but you already have this small cell of this being introduced in the part A. Okay, this is one example. Any questions on this? And just few more examples, and then
Sorry, so quick question. So that what how you've written the part 8 as it is now, that example 8, that's actually more than one part A. So one part A would start, yeah, that's the part A.
yeah, that's the part. Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
So this is another example of where you have two phrases repeated two times, one phrase repeated two times, but the development is repeated three times. So kitataka kitataka ta kitataka ta kitataka ta kitataka ta kitataka where you see that it is 8 plus 3, 8 plus 3, 10 plus 3, 10 plus 3, 12 plus 3, 12 plus 3. So again, there is this, you can think that this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. Instead of thinking 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay? Now, let's not look into 10, 11, and 12. It is another study. So this is more than enough for homework. Okay, now you have a lot of ideas. I'm sure you have studied some of 35 Tala system. Have you? Yeah. So
Yes.
shall I give you the homework based on that? Okay, somebody has. I remember a Corvée with only Tadiginatum in part A and B. Uh, yes, Eduardo is throwing me all these kind of crazy questions.
Sorry.
No, no, no. I mean, like maybe it was a conscious decision to make it sound the same, but I'm sure it is Tirmana Corvée, where
Ah,
it's not part A or part B. It's the same thing, but it's just a Tirmana Corvée. Okay,
thank you.
no problem. So, would you like to do some homework on this?
Yes, please.
So, homework. That's it. If anyone wants to know how many counts these are, just I'll give you an idea. That's the number of beats. So you have more wider range of part A's. So have fun.
So the number of bits you're writing are for one cycle.
One cycle.
Okay.
Do you want me to split the way the frames are, or this is enough?
I think it's enough.
And so you have 10 different variations of part A?
Yeah.
You want us
And
to
then
write,
if you understand the part A 10, 11, 12, then go for it.
but the first 9, you want us to write 9 different corvées for each of those cycles?
No, 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 no. Choose whichever appeals to you. And then make sure that you don't stick to the same kind of plan. Use all kinds of variations. You have seven chances of doing it here. So not one idea should be repeated twice in part A.
And for the examples there, for instance, Chaturashara Jati Dhruvatara for 2 cycles, that would be the whole length for A and B. So we have to work out, okay,
Yes.
use
That will
about
be
50%. Okay.
2 cycles is one time A and B. So it's 2 cycles, 2 cycles, 2 cycles. So 3 times repeated. Okay. So I mean, like, you don't have to use these phrases. Please come up with your own phrases with this, having these ideas in your mind. Yeah.
Can we do it in Western notation?
If you can explain it to me later, of course, yes. And then if some people can perform it on their instruments, and then I want to hear how it sounds, it will be awesome. Not just reciting konokol, would be awesome. How would you write for a melodic instrument? How would you write for a percussion instrument? Everything changes, right? Ned, sending this to you.
Yes, send it to me. I'll throw it up on the webpage tonight,
Okay, perfect.
along with these videos.
Any questions, guys? Nada?
So we got some writing to do. Some of you have already done this, and others of you not yet. So we're gonna have to sit down with the pencil and paper or on the keyboard and write these out and really figure out what's going on with the math to make this work out. So, but this is one of the main things we're learning in this course. So once we get this under our under control, then we can take it further. But this is a sort of stepping off point and a main technique which we're hearing all the time in these Carnatic solos. So,
and please don't forget the other homework of doing the phrasing, the phrase shifting, playing with the phrase. You can also choose your own melodic phrase and then come up with shifting the notes with it will be more interesting, I would say. Like you have more possibilities when it comes to when you add melody to it. No? You have the sequence of melodies, you have the sequence of rhythm. It's like having rhythmic cycle and harmony cycle, right? Like you have this two different things sometimes going on in jazz music. So that kind of thing will come up with this idea.
yeah.
So I'm a bit confused now. You're saying there's two homeworks. Could you just clarify?
Yes, one is the one which I just gave you with the part A, and then 7 different talas. The other one is, you remember we started off with septuplets. Then I gave you a 3-beat phrase. Were you here when we did that?
I was here. Yeah, I'll have to watch this video again to remember, because that was so long ago.
It'll be up there, and indeed, that these, as we're learning, these videos are really great tools for us to go back, watch it again, write it down, take notes, figure out. I'm trying to put maybe I forgot with this one, but I did have the timestamp on some of them, so you can also take notes from which minutes or second the interesting moment.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thanks. Yeah.
And everybody's getting to the videos okay, right? Because I'm making them private already, but so if there are any problems or questions about that, just send me a message. Awesome. Okay. So Friday we will meet.
Yeah.
And same time, 3:30, or did you say 4:00 BC?
I will join at 4.
What is it? What works for you guys? Should we do 3:30 to 5:30, or should we just do 4 to 6?
4 for me.
Okay, we'll do Friday at 4:00. Let me see here.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's also good for me.
Okay.
All right. Well, keep sending me all your things. As soon as I see them and I have a minute, I throw them online. And please check out everybody else's videos because they're so inspiring. So cool. Awesome, guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Let's see here.